This is Let's Talk Big, the Big Read, with Jane Berger and Jen Hazel. The Owens Community College Campus Read is taking place now and throughout the semester, with the goal of bringing awareness of different perspectives through books. The Campus Read book is What My Bones Know by acclaimed journalist Stephanie Fu. It's the story of her reckoning and healing by investigating the little understood science behind complex PTSD and how it's shaped her life. Here, sharing their insight about the book, What My Bones Know, is Owens Community College Director of Library Services, Jane Berger, and Professor of English, Jen Hazel.
I'm Jen Hazel, and I'm here with
Jane Berger
and
Jodi Gore.
So, Jodi, we want to hear a little bit about this trauma workshop that's coming up on March 8th.
Well, first, thanks for having me. I appreciate that.
Thank you for coming.
We're very excited about this workshop. A lot of people, when they think about trauma, they think PTSD, right? But that's just the tip of the iceberg, as we like to say. Trauma can be from childhood abuse, just like in the big read that we're all reading right now, hopefully. It can be from just lots of different things, which we're going to talk about in that seminar. We're also going to talk about what you can do about that. Maybe you don't even realize that you've had a traumatic event. That's possible. It affects every aspect of your life, and we'll also talk about that.
Wonderful. I think, so I've seen some stuff recently, Jodi, where it talks about, because you mentioned, and I think this is super important, that you may not even know you've had a trauma experience. Mm-hmm. And I believe I know what you're getting at, where what you'll experience is your reaction to something is not the same reaction as somebody else. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that can be underlining trauma there.
Correct.
So for example, one that I've seen recently is when your kids are really whining or crying, that you feel very triggered by that. And mm-hmm. it can be unsettling trauma that happened to you as a child. Why does it bother you so much that your child is crying?
That's correct.
Yeah. So how are you going to dive into that specifically? Or what is it that we might know?
What can we expect, I guess, a little bit?
Yeah, how would someone know that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to talk about, what are the possible sources of trauma, what kind of maybe maladaptive responses people have to their world that might indicate that there was some trauma in their history. We're going to talk about what that looks like. How does it affect your relationships, your occupation, really everything, right? Mm-hmm. And what we can maybe do about it.
So wonderful. So, and you're not talking about hypnosis. We're going to put someone under hypnosis. You're really driving at that something happened and we may not have seen that we had trauma from that. It's mm-hmm. developed our response. So it's not like we don't know these things happen. We know something happened. But, and it's we've developed coping mechanisms mm-hmm. Around these events, but don't even know mm-hmm. that they have created this underlining trauma from us. And then, of course, like you said, we'll dive in and start to look at how we can start to heal from that.
Yeah, and some of those coping mechanisms, we may not even realize what we're actually doing when we're using them, right? Mm-hmm. I have a friend who, just as a quick example, she has a difficult relationship with her mom, but she said, I had a great childhood, middle class, food on the table, all that jazz. And there were some things that she was doing. I'm like, why are you doing that? And she was like, I don't really know why I'm doing that. That's kind of weird. My husband thinks it's weird. And it's maybe we should talk about that. So it might be something like that, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you learn to compensate. You learn to, not necessarily cover, but you just learn to adapt to what you've always known.
And that's the key, because that's quote unquote normal for your family.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we know we've piqued your interest.
Absolutely. If I wasn't already going to be there, I'm going to be there, sitting there hearing about this, because it is super important. And it's funny to think sometimes I think it's recognizable that you know that an experience has happened and that it is that way. And other times something has happened, but you don't even realize you're...
Yeah. It doesn't even register.
Right. Yeah. And like if your family, like for example, if we're talking about something that happened in childhood, if your family, like that's how it was in your family, until you talk about it with other people, you don't realize that something about that is odd or different.
Right.
And something about that has caused other behaviors in your life that maybe are not healthy for you or those around you.
Right.
Yeah. So this is going to be a must-attend event. So I would love to see all of your faces there and more faces. So this event will be March 8th at 2 p.m. in College Hall 100, and it will also be live streamed. So head to our website for that live stream link, which is owens.edu/humanities/read. owens.edu/humanities/read. So along with Jodi, we will also have the Director of Counseling, R.J. Johnson, and our counseling intern, KaJuan Willis, and they are going to talk and present on this like really super important topic. So again, that's March 8th at 2 p.m., College Hall 100. There also is a live stream link. So that's going to do it for us today. On behalf of Jane Berger and Jodi Gore, I'm Jen Hazel. Keep talking big.
Join us again for Let's Talk Big, the Big Read with Jane Berger and Jen Hazel.